Okay, so the title of this video is a small exaggeration, but I'm trying to prove a point. Because Tyler, the Creator, can obviously rap. That's what he's been doing for the last 11 years, ever since he began his career as a teenager, writing lyrics so controversial that he spent most of the last decade banned from multiple nations. But it's been a long time since the word rapper has been an accurate way to describe Tyler, the Creator's artistic output as a whole. Because despite his origins as an immature hip-hop outcast, Tyler has actually spent most of his career studying and exploring musical composition. And as his ability to arrange these nuanced compositions has improved over time, Tyler's reliance on hip-hop motifs has diminished to the point where, and I cannot stress this enough, there was significantly more rapping on the last Ed Sheeran album than on Igor. But Tyler just won a Grammy for Best Rap Album, while Ed Sheeran's number 6 collaborations was nominated for Best Pop Album. Let's talk about that. This video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. You can also get access to my streaming video service Nebula when you sign up for CuriosityStream using the link in the description. To be honest, at first I wasn't even sure if I should care about this issue. Not because I don't care about the problem of racial bias at the Grammys, but because I just really don't care about the Grammys to begin with. I don't watch award shows, and I definitely don't see them as a good way to celebrate or judge popular music. From Maroon 5 winning Best New Artist over Kanye in 2005, to Mumford & Sons' Babel winning Best Album over Frank Ocean's Channel Orange in 2013, it just doesn't feel like the Grammys are actually an accurate measure of what constitutes quality in today's music industry. And don't get me started on the amount of times Kendrick has been snubbed over the last 10 years, or the fact that in 2018, Cardi B won Best Rap Album over Pusha T, Travis Scott, Nipsey Hussle, and Mac Miller. To make a long story short, the Grammys are just too biased for me to feel invested in what they decide on. But my ears perked up last week when I heard that Tyler, the Creator, won Best Rap Album for Igor. Not because of anything to do with the music of Igor itself, but rather the fact that the album won in the wrong category. Igor is Tyler's most fully realized work of music after years of him slowly drifting towards a sound that's best described as a complicated mix of neo-soul, funk, pop, and a little bit of hip-hop. And while you can easily make the case that Tyler's been moving away from hip-hop for a while, especially on Flower Boy, I think Igor is Tyler's first album where it just doesn't count as a hip-hop record at all. And I would even go so far to say that the Grammys considering Igor as a rap album next to Dreamville, Meek Mill, 21 Savage, and YBN Cordae is tone deaf at best and insulting to the nominees at worst. Because the truth is that Igor deserved to be considered a pop album. Tyler is exploring new styles, and he deserves to be recognized not just for his achievement as a rapper, but as a singer, a lyricist, a composer, and a producer. Especially because Tyler's rapping has been taking an ever-receding backseat to his singing and composing in the last few years. And if you don't believe me, you can hear it in his own words.
It sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word, it's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. So when I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop?
Tyler also brought up another interesting issue that I've been thinking about for the past year or so. He mentioned his discomfort with the fact that the relatively new urban music category at the Grammys is exclusively used not to describe music coming from urban areas, but rather it's a category so racially biased that since the award was introduced in 2013, not a single white person has ever been nominated to win it. And looking through nominations for Best Urban Contemporary Album over the last 8 years, it doesn't take a genius to notice a pattern. A pattern of Black pop singers making pop music being nominated for an award that doesn't describe their work. The urban category just doesn't have a self-contained definition, and I haven't been able to find one online that describes the music itself. But this award consistently and without fail is handed out to Black pop musicians like Childish Gambino, The Weeknd, and Rihanna. it seems self-evident that the Grammys, instead of including Black pop artists in the pop categories, have created different awards for Black pop singers to win instead. To the point where, since this category was introduced in 2013, only one person of color has ever been nominated in the Best Pop Album category. The two awards are, in essence, separate but equal. At the same time somehow, Ed Sheeran's recent number 6 collaborations was nominated for Best Pop Album while featuring verses from 13 different rappers. That's like 4 times as many rap verses as Igor has in the entire album. And to quote Tyler again,
whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending or that's anything, they always put it in a rap or urban category, which is, and I don't like that urban word, it's just a politically correct way to say the N-word to me. So when I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop? Why can't it just, you know what I mean? So I felt like half of me feels like the rap nomination was a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, my little cousin wants to play the game, let's give him the unplugged controller so he could shut up and feel good about it. That's what it felt like a bit, but another half of me is very grateful that the art that I made could be acknowledged on a level like this when I don't do the radio stuff, I'm not played in Target, I'm in a whole different world than what a lot of people here listen to, so I'm grateful and like,
But Tyler isn't the only musician to notice this issue. In 2017, when Adele won Album of the Year for 25, she ended up dedicating her speech and her award to Beyoncé, who, of course, won Best Urban Album that same night. The next day, Sufjan Stevens described the Urban Contemporary Award as a creation of insecure white men, intimidated by talented Black women. And Frank Ocean, that same year, intentionally removed Blonde from consideration at the Grammys in a protest against their archaic values. But what are we supposed to do about this racial bias? I think in the end, the answer is honestly kind of simple. Because music is changing, and the Grammys are kind of dying. The Grammys were created during an era when independent musician meant that one guy who lived in your neighborhood and banged on tin cans while singing folk tunes every Friday night. Today, Frank Ocean can drop an album independently and it'll hit #1 in its first week. We don't need the Grammys anymore, and we definitely don't need the shadowy limousine liberals who run them to tell us what's good and what isn't. Especially now that music YouTubers have hit the scene. But seriously, the Grammys are kind of on their way out, and not just in terms of cultural relevance either. Viewership of the Grammys is nearing all-time lows as more and more people just don't watch television anymore. We use social media and places like YouTube to share musical opinions and critiques. Basically, I should start a Volksgeist award show. In the end, the Grammys may be racially biased, and it certainly looks like they are. But I think their more important characteristic is that they're an outdated event that props up corporatized music rather than recognizing the artistic merit of Black musicians, instead pigeonholing them into categories based on their skin color. And when I look at the urban category versus the pop category, I see a different divide as well. I see corporate versus organic, Frank Ocean versus Justin Bieber, or Childish Gambino versus Taylor Swift. I see artistry and character against complacency and corporate soullessness. It's musical talent and hard work versus a good voice and an army of producers. And that's why I think that ultimately the Grammys don't really matter. It's an award ceremony by rich people for rich people. In the end, I can guarantee one thing for sure. In 50 years, no one's gonna care who won which Grammy or when. You definitely can't tell me who won in 1970, and to be honest, I don't know either. But we are gonna remember the artists who pushed the boundaries of popular music with genre-bending production, musical experimentation, and heartfelt songwriting. Because Tyler, the Creator, is not just a rapper. He's a singer, a composer, a producer, and a rapper who's accomplished a hell of a lot in the last 10 years. And not only that, but he's a massive symbol of diversity and talent in the music community. And if it's just between you and I'd take him over Ariana Grande any day of the week. Any longtime Volksgeist viewer at this point has heard of CuriosityStream. They're the streaming service home to thousands of documentaries and nonfiction titles about history, technology, nature, science, and a lot more. They present one of the best streaming deals available anywhere at just $19.99 a year or $3 a month. But now this deal has gotten even better, because when you sign up for a yearly subscription with CuriosityStream, you're also going to get unlimited access to Nebula. And you can try both of these services for free by following the link in the description. Nebula is a streaming service that I myself am involved with building. New Volksgeist videos go up on Nebula completely ad-free before I put them on YouTube. But more importantly, the thing that really makes Nebula special are the originals. For example, my good friend Polyphonic has a fantastic Nebula original series about Led Zeppelin, and who knows, maybe there will even be a Volksgeist Nebula original out soon, say in the next few weeks. And lots of your favorite creators are already on Nebula, like Mr. Amazing, Middle 8, Polyphonic, Tierzoo, the list goes on. By signing up for Nebula, you'll be supporting the educational creator community, regardless of whether or not YouTube continues to support what we do. So sign up for a yearly subscription to CuriosityStream and enjoy their programming as well as all that Nebula has to offer for less than $20 for a whole year. You can also get a month's free trial to both services at the link in the description.